So we all know that Alton Towers was built around an ex-country estate, but believe it or not, there's actually a lot more to the park and its history, including Easter eggs, forgotten concepts, and even deodorants. Here are 10 quick and random facts about Alton Towers. Before Wickerman came to be, many wooden coaster concepts were designed for Alton Towers, including a cross valley coaster that would have been located in the quarry between Dark Forest and Forbidden Valley. According to its plans, the ride would have started with a 22-meter lift hill, and after cresting it, the trains would dive into a 200-foot drop that would have gone down the valley. After going down said drop, riders would climb into another lift hill, and after reaching the top of it, the train would traverse down another 200-foot drop before returning to the station. Despite how fun it looked, the project was actually scrapped in 2003 due to several planning issues related to the park. If you've ridden Oblivion, chances are that you've noticed the really weird looking sculpture that can be found inside the ride's queue line, and believe it or not, the theming feature was actually made using parts of the projector from the park's planetarium that closed back in 1987. Even though the statue is completely useless, it's still nice to see Alton Towers making callbacks to past attractions. Like a lot of UK theme parks, Alton Towers are famous for their creative marketing stunts. They painted a bottomless lift, advertised Nemesis Subterra, and 13 was briefly named Polar Coaster. But perhaps the most infamous marketing stunt to date would have to be when the park stated that to ride 13, guests would have to be over the age of 16 due to how scary the ride experience was. And Alton Towers didn't stop there. In fact, they also stated that to ride 13, people would have to sign a waiver which would prevent the park from being sued if riders got too scared. Whilst we're on the subject of 13's stupid marketing stunts, on Friday the 13th, 2010, the ride was renamed to 14 so guests wouldn't feel unlucky when riding it. In Air's original concept art, there were several proposed theming features, including a large canyon that would have wrapped around one of the turnarounds, creating a pretty cool near-miss element. Along with these canyons, the concept art also did show a variety of water features, including some waterfalls and geysers that would have been spread out across the ride area. Apparently, the tunnel before the lift hill was also going to be themed with some lighting effects. However, due to expected budget cuts with building the trains, none of these features actually made it to the final ride. Before Dark Forest came to be, Alton Towers had considered a variety of other themes for the area, ranging from rock blasting to dragons. There were even ideas of the land being themed to the Ghost Rider, but of course none of these ideas ever came into fruition. However, and this is where it gets interesting, to accompany these proposed areas, Alton Towers had looked at a variety of coaster and ride-based concepts for the themed area, including a Gerstlauer Eurofighter, and the idea of a Vekoma tilt coaster was also floating around. This would have been a first for Europe, but you know Alton Towers, they were trying to break world records, not European ones, resulting in the addition of 13, which was famous for being the world's first roller coaster to feature a freefall drop. During the 1990s, Alton Towers had released their fair share of weird merchandise. They brought out a comic explaining the complex backstory behind Nemesis, and in the late 90s the Oblivion logo was everywhere, and I mean everywhere. But back in 1998, Alton Towers ran a really strange partnership with Lynx, and this partnership saw the park release a full line of body sprays and deodorants that were used to advertise Oblivion. These sprays were exclusive to Oblivion, and you were able to find them in almost every shop imaginable until the end of 1998. Now, admittedly, this strange example of marketing isn't much of a fact, however it's still pretty cool to know that Oblivion had its own deodorant line. Around Alton Towers, many Easter eggs can actually be found, which nod towards the code names given for their SW attractions. These Easter eggs are really well hidden and can sometimes go unnoticed by the untrained eye, but if you go into the Smiler's single rider queue, you will probably be able to find an illusion reading SW7 plastered onto the wall. This is a clear reference to the Smiler's codename, as during construction it was dubbed as SW7. Another SW Easter egg that is hidden a bit better can be found on the side of the Oblivion watchtower, and it reads OLB, standing for Oblivion, SW4, and SW4 was Oblivion's codename. Finally, if you go onto Google Maps and you look at Wickerman's queue line, you'll be able to find that the first cattle pen is shaped to roughly read WM, standing for Wickerman. Back when Swords owned the park, the idea of a water-based experience for Alton Towers was genuinely considered. The attraction would have opened in 2007, and during planning it was referred to as Project Dolphin. The attraction would have been located in the car park by Galactica, and it was going to feature 3 themed areas, including Key Tropicana, where guests would have been able to swim with a variety of tropical fish. Other areas of the attraction included Lost Lagoon and Shimmering Shoals, which would have offered very similar experiences. A popular rumour about Alton Towers is that Rita, the park's Intamin launch coaster, was actually meant to go to Oakwood theme park in Wales, and it would have been located in the area where Speed No Limits is today. Rumour has it that Oakwood had a deal with Intamin and they were planning to purchase Rita. However, due to its pricing and potentially high maintenance costs, Oakwood pulled out of the deal at the last minute and went for Speed No Limits, a Gertzlauer Eurofighter. And as a result, Alton Towers bought the launch coaster. But it does really make you wonder on how things could have been if Towers never got Rita and the area was just empty. Would Oakland still be around today? I don't know. Don't ask me. Let's go back onto the subject of forgotten concepts. Believe it or not, X-Sector was actually going to have a steampunk theme at first, and the area was apparently going to be named Fort Discovery. To work with the steampunk theme, Oblivion was also meant to be themed differently, and the story would have involved drilling into the ground for some sort of substance that was meant to power the area. But of course, as we can see today, these plans were scrapped entirely. But with all of that being said, the steampunk idea was revisited when the theme for Air was being designed. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you learned at least one thing from it, and if you didn't, well I'm sorry. Big shout out goes to Screwy Loops, who did inspire this series. A link to their channel can be found in the pinned comment and description, so go check them out, they're a great channel. If you did enjoy the video, then be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, then be sure to subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. If there's any facts that I missed or didn't even mention whatsoever, I just realised that meant the same thing, then be sure to let me know in the comments. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Yeehaw!